Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Hope you would have gone through the earlier session that I taught you how to use Notepad and create the C program. Now today we are going to see about data types in C and also see how we can use Visual Studio Code and create our programs and compile it. Now before going to the session, let's have a look of what are the data types in C. So the different data types in C are data types are nothing but it is a representation that this data would be storing the values which are related to a particular group. Here the int is nothing but integer. Integer would hold all the numbers inside it and it is indicated using the symbol %d. This you need to remember all these signs which are being posted in this column because this sign is important one so that you can assign your variables based on this data type and you can call and print those variables or get those inputs using this symbols. Float is for float. Float means which is nothing but decimal numbers. All the decimal numbers with any precision can be used. And char is nothing but character. Character is all the alphabets which we use, which uses %c. Now let's open Visual Studio Code for today's tutorial. Okay, now let's create a new file. You can select a language if needed. Then we start our program. Now as I said before, if you are interested you can document the purpose of your program, data types and input function. Now I am going to include standard library, standard input output.h. Then I am directly going to create void main. Okay, after creating void main I am going to create a variable as integer. So I am giving int and variable name is a. If you are going to assign a value for this variable, you can do it right away in this session itself. So I am going to give equal to and assign the variable's value 10. Now I am going to print this variable with printf. Okay, after printf you need to create double quotations, then give %d. As I said before, the %d is for the integer. Okay, so after creating the symbol I am giving comma and I am calling a. Okay, so what we are doing here is we are telling printf to print the integer and we are passing the variable name near the after the comma. So I am saving this. Okay, today is class 1 day 2. Okay, okay, fine. Now I am saving this. Now giving let's go to terminal, click on run and build task. You could see it is asking me which one to use. I am going to use the GCC compiler which we have used in CMD yesterday. So after clicking it, I can see that it is been run and successfully created. So you can see now like the terminal will be reused by task. Press any key to close it. After closing, I don't see my output, but you can see that in terminal if you are creating a new terminal after including the folder here, this would be located in the same folder. Here I am going to give that. Okay, you can see that all the files are listed here and day 2, day 1, day out, and we could see that class 1 day 2.exe is present here. So let's execute it using the command dot backslash class 1 day 2.exe. Here you could see it is printing, but as I said before in the previous class, if you are not giving get ch, it would just drop out from there. But how it is executing here? This is the difference between what we are seeing in the as executable and here. Here it would execute and print everything here, but when you are going to the same folder as yesterday, okay, if I am going to run this day2.exe, you could see it is not popping out. So as I said before, if you are executing something inside the CMD or inside the Visual Studio Code terminal, it would just open it and show the print the value which are there. But if you want to see it in the executable, you need to give get ch, and this is inside the library include dot. This is inside the library console input output. Okay, now I need to again rebuild this. I am going to Ctrl Shift B, rebuild this in the same name. Okay, here you could see the file name is same as such as of the file name which we are using for the C extension. So I am closing this. Okay, I am running it again. I can get the same input, and it is waiting for me to give the next. It is waiting for me to close it. So when I click enter, it will close, and the same you can observe in the executable also. It is waiting for me to give some input. I am giving an input. It is closing. Okay, let's explore some more variables. Okay, now let's open a float b equal to 20 and another float named c equal to 25.5. I am going to print the first float using %f and another float at the same time. Okay, so you can print two floats at the same time, but you need to specify both the floats correctly. Okay, now you can see that here I have called both the floats and given the variable according to which need to be printed first and which need to be printed second. I am giving case 1 so that it would be an identification for us, and semicolon. Yeah. Okay, now I am copying this same statement, printing it down. I am giving case 2. Here I am giving it as C and B. Okay, I am saving it. Now let's build it again. The build is successful. Yeah. Now executing this. Okay, executing this, we could see that the 10 is printed first. Then we are getting the case 1 as 20, 25.5, and in case 2 we are getting it as 25.5 and 20. But all of them are in same line, which is not a desired one. So we are going to include a space provider, which is nothing but /n. What /n means is go to the next line. After printing the statement, it would go to the next line and print the second statement. Whatever statements are being given after this /n, it would be printed in the next statement. So I am giving /n over here and another /n over here. Let's save this and run it again. It is built successfully. Yeah. Now let's print it. You could see that it is printing properly, but in the float condition you could see it is printing all the 6 decimals back at the 0. So to get it in a short form, you could use 0.2f. Okay, after the percentage you could use 0.2f, which means that you need to print only the first 2 decimal of this. So I am giving run and build task. Run it. It is executed. Good. So you could see that only the first two decimals after the decimal point is being printed. Okay. Now let's see how to now let's see how to create a character, initialize a character and then print it out. I'm giving cat, then the variable name, and I'm using single quotes. This is a specific instruction. You need to use single quotes to declare just a single variable, not a variable, just a single character. Okay, so I'm giving printf, and let's print this character as %c, comma, and the variable name. Let's save it. Okay, as I said before, don't mistake semicolons, then you will enter into a mesh. Build a task. The task is built. Okay, now execute the program. You could see that the Y is printed, so our program is a success right now. This is a typical program where you are just giving outputs. If you are in a particular case where you need to get the input, what would you do? As printf is used for printing, we would use scanf for getting the input. Now let me print a statement like printf enter a number. Okay, then after that this should go to a new line, and as said before, here also I need to go to a new line, then give a semicolon, then I'm using scanf where I'm going to get a variable. Okay, using scanf I'm giving the parenthesis %d since I'm going to get a number, and I'm giving ampersand symbol. Ampersand is used to give the address of a particular variable. So let's call a variable d. Okay, I'm going to get the value to this variable. But why I'm getting a red mark here? Because I don't have a variable named d before itself. So I'm going to initialize the variable int d. As you see now, there is no error because I'm just created the variable and assigned a particular space for this. For each of this int float character, there is a particular space which should be occupied in your system. So I'm saving this, and we are going to run. Okay, the build is complete, build is successful. Okay, now let's run this. It is asking me to enter a number. I am going to enter the number as 10. After entering 10, you could have noticed that it is waiting for something because of this getch. Now let's print the same variable, printf %d, comma d. Okay, fine. Let's keep the semicolon, close the bracket, save the program. Yeah. Now, if needed, we can also add like this is the value you have entered. Oh, this looks quite good. I am going to save this first, then build it. Yes. Okay, our file is ready. Then let's print it. Okay, all the variables are initialized and printed. Now I am going to give the value as 30. I am getting the value. Then I am going to give under enter to close the program. Okay, you can also open the same here. You could check that it is asking me to enter some number. I am entering the number, and okay, let's close this. Okay, now since I have asked it to get only an integer and this is a int, if I am entering some character or something different than a number, what would happen? Let's test it out. I am giving yes, it is giving 0 because yes is not a integer. And if you are going to give a float, what would it return? 20.5. It is returning me 20. It would just take the decimal numbers and it would return only the value as integer. So if you are going to get a char, what would happen? Instead of int, I am getting it as a char, and here instead of %c %d, I need to give it as c, and same over here. Let's save it, run this. Yes, the file is ready. Let's open it here. Sorry, yeah, I am going to give number as 20. I got only 2 because, as I said before, character is used only to assign just one value. Like character can be anything, A to B, A to Z, A to numbers, anything can be a character, but int is specifically numbers. So I am giving ASDF. I am getting only A. This is because character is just, it would get only the first variable, first value or first character which is there. From this you could have understood that what a character is and how it works and what are the different types of basic data. This is basic data, this is not the all data, this is just a basic number of data which we would cover. On the next class we would write a simple program where we can use it as a calculator using the arithmetic operators. Let's see you in the next class. Thank you.